We're going to start off with, it's about the year anniversary since the whole pandemic started, the whole COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic started. It's 12 months later. I figure we've been doing this. This is our 5th episode, and during this pandemic, we haven't even talked anything coronavirus related. So I figured that was a good reason. 2, I have a 6-year-old son who's been doing virtual school from home this whole time, and then as of today, March 1st, they just started hybrid. So he actually went to school today at 9 o'clock. I dropped him off, came over here at 9:45 because we don't want to do like a 2:30, 3 p.m. start anymore. We just felt like sometimes we're a little tired. But anyway, some technical difficulties later, we're here, and that's that. So 2 things. So 1, I brought my son to school, so that's a good progression forward with the whole COVID. Wednesday, I'm going to Orlando, Florida, and I bought Orlando Magic tickets. They're only allowing 4,000 fans, but that's also a good sign. So I bought 3 tickets going to Orlando Magic game, so things are moving forward. Here's what I want to throw at Alec, and I haven't told him this stuff yet. So more just some COVID predictions. Let's just make some coronavirus predictions here, and I'll tell you here. So first, I'm going to start off with this. Coachella was supposed to be April 21st. They canceled that. Okay, in California. Now,
was that recently?
That was April 21st. They recently canceled it, yeah. Now, EDC, Electric Daisy Carnival, is May 21st through 23rd. They're on, and they're sold out. Now, 1, it was a month later. 2, Vegas is obviously less strict. California's been the most strict. Right. I don't have a prediction with that other than I'm curious how many tickets they let people go in EDC, if it's typical, if they're just going to have more like you got to kind of stand apart. So I'm really curious, or unless they're just hoping by May that things will just be popping off. Here's the ones I do have questions. So let's do a prediction. So let's keep it in Vegas. So Las Vegas Raiders opening game, if you had to guess how much percentage capacity will it be? So half the stadium full, 20%, kind of like the Super Bowl was. If you had to make a guess.
What's the date?
Let's call it first week September. Preseason
100%.
starts in August. You're going 100%?
Yeah.
We'll just make some predictions. I figured it'd be fun. We haven't done COVID.
Yeah.
September? You're going 100%?
100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to go, if you do 100%, let's see. They did the Super Bowl 20%. They had like 20,000. Like I said, some of the stadiums are open. We're basically, let's call it March 1st. I know they're doing the March Madness in Indianapolis. They're allowing some fans. I don't know the exact percentage, but that would still be what? March, April, May, June, July, August, September. That's like 6-7 months.
They're saying we're supposed to hit herd immunity by April.
By April?
Yeah, which is next month.
I mean, I know we're not taking the vaccine, but they say that the podcasts I've been listening, they're saying the vaccines are batting like 100% though.
Yeah.
They're doing like really super well. So I'm not putting.
I think they're getting pushed out like 1 million people per day or something like that. So imagine by September, I think this is all over. They're pushing that second strain shit, so I guess we'll see what happens with that. But I think it's all going to be fine.
Last little winter sicknesses, there'll be a couple busts up, but I think from April all the way to August, we're going to be cool.
Yeah.
So you're going 100%. I think that's a little rough. I think they're going to have to still be a little restriction. I'll go with 65%. More than 50, less than 3/4. I think they're still going to do some kind of couple seats in between. But families can sit together. So if you have 4 together, maybe 2 seats in between or something. So I'm going to just throw a number. I'm going to go 65%. So Vegas Raiders. The only other one that I kind of was interested in was, when do you think masks will be off for good?
For good?
For good.
I think there's going to be people that continuously wear the mask forever. But like you're saying, mandatory.
Like when you mandatory, you think will be good? Over across the board?
I'm thinking April, May. I think this is over by May.
Wow, that's super soon.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying we're hitting herd immunity, and this is CNN and shit. Right. It's not like some conservative
But probably for
news.
The soft, safe side, they're going to play it a little longer. I think
to keep the mask?
Just to keep the mask. Yeah. I think so.
Maybe
especially like grocery
hopeful.
Stores and main places. But
conservative, I'm gonna say September.
Okay,
August.
I think September's a good aiming point. I like that play. I'm gonna go all the way to, because I think one more winter push just in case. I'm gonna say masks will be mandatory. I'm gonna go all the way to. I'm gonna go to March next year. I'm gonna go a year. I think so.
Really?
I think they're just gonna play it safe. Because why? I don't think that there's a point to rush it.
I don't think it's rushing it, but if it's
I agree with you, but I still think they're going to play this extra soft side with Biden, the Democrat,
I think
the
it's
left
just
side.
state by state basis.
That's true.
So like, I think definitely we live in Las Vegas. I think by this summer, I mean, they're opening up I think they already did actually. They're opening up what's it called, the pool clubs and shit, you know,
the pool parties. Yeah. Well, they just ended up with a new Resort World too. I want to check out. Hilton has a property there too. I get a discount. Yeah, looks beautiful.
That's right across from the Wynn, right?
They've been showing it on UFC.com. That's been like, you know, they show like the Vegas Strip. They've been showing the Resort World, and it's a Hilton property there. So
I think, but Vegas will move forward quicker than other states. I'm sure California and New York, they might wear masks for fucking rest of the time with those people.
Well, it's a good sign that EDC is still there. May 21st. That's a lot of people. I know it's outside, which is cool, you know, but some inside things, even like the jiu-jitsu world. There's a jiu-jitsu tournament March 20th, which is indoors, fighting each other. You're close. I think you can only bring like one guest or something, but who cares? March 27th, there's another jiu-jitsu event. So it looks, hopefully Vegas.
You're right though. I don't like, how are they gonna do EDC and Coachella? Because those are like, I mean, you've been too. It's like you're on top. Everyone's on top of each other. You know.
I
can't see them social distancing unless they limit the capacity, which I'm
sure there's a little less capacity. They didn't sell as many tickets. And again, I think the outdoorsy stuff gives them a little bit more of an advantage. And they'll probably have some kind of markers on the ground, or who knows, but they need to make money though, so they're trying to make this money. And I think Coachella last year, California's more strict, but they pushed it all the way back to October. So I think Coachella would take it by month basis. It's just, that's so much money for them to lose out on.
Same with EDC.
And that's all. I just want to talk about some COVID stuff. We haven't talked about any COVID coronavirus thing. Do you have anything else on the coronavirus you want to talk about?
I mean, just hopefully the second strain doesn't come in. They're saying it's in New York and California.
There's a new strain? I told you about the strain that makes you go blind, but I thought there was like 4 strains.
I'm not sure what, I think there's multiple, but they're definitely talking about the second one. I'm not sure if it's, there's one of the vaccines that works towards both.
There's like Johnson & Johnson.
I think the Johnson.
There's Pfizer. Those are the 2 I know off the top of my head. I don't know the other ones. I think there's one more.
Medina, something like that.
That might
but
be
the
right.
Johnson & Johnson one, I'm pretty sure works against both.
Johnson & Johnson.
And then that other one you have to take twice or something. So we'll see. I think this is all over by Sunday.
Yeah, and they're saying it's bad 100% no matter what it is. He said the virus, you know, they don't want the thing I was listening to. They're like, stay away from which percentage of each one. Just it's 100% the vaccines are working. So
the only thing is that the Dr. Fauci guy, he was like, even if you have the vaccine, you should be wearing 2 masks. You still shouldn't be eating in restaurants. Like
right, and that's why I think they do push the mask thing extra long.
Yeah.
Just on
you might be right.
To go on record, are you taking the vaccine?
No.
Me neither. We're no vaccine takers over here. But hey, if you feel like you need to put something in your body to make you feel better, cool. Go for it.
They were talking early on that it was going to be mandatory to go to like concerts and fly and shit.
Ticketmaster. I'm happy you brought that up actually. So for this, I bought my tickets on SeatGeek. It goes through Ticketmaster. I think maybe because limited seats, but you have to download this app called Clear. And I had to scan my ID. I had to fill out some little form or something. And then 12 hours before the day of the game, I have to do a COVID survey. And then I got to scan my Clear app when I go through. So that's probably the transition that they'll use, you know, because they would lose too much money. We saw those Ticketmaster reports like 3 months ago for concerts. They'll lose way too much money on Ticketmaster or airplanes. Like I even said, we talked about this a couple months ago. I thought maybe one airplane will try to be cute, but as soon as those ticket numbers go down, you know, they're not willing to take, what is it? They're saying 40% of people won't take the vaccine, or it might be the opposite. It could be 40% people are taking it.
No, you're probably right.
Yeah, right. 40% are, 60% are willing to.
Yeah.
So whatever, that 40% is a lot of money. So they're not willing to lose out on that 40%. So, but yeah, I'm happy you brought that up. You have to have this little Clear app, and that's probably good.
Well, that's cool. That's not that big of a deal. Cool. If it's a little survey, I don't mind that. But if it's like a mandatory test or like mandatory vaccine or something, you know, that's pushing it. Yeah. You know, it's kind of scary when it gets to that level.
And I think this is a good transition just because of the whole what's going on in the world right now. Let's go into the Russell Brand thing. I just feel like it's a world topic. Yeah. So Russell Brand, I was kind of giving the topic on it. So Russell Brand, shout out to Russell Brand first and foremost. But he has a podcast and
Under the Skin.
The Skin is that what it's called. And he had this new episode come out called The Great Reset. You know, I remember even said like the Madonna called this the Great Equalizer, and you know, so and I do believe there is some kind of under the skin thing that we aren't aware of. You know, of this whole year with the COVID. I think there's some things that are pushing behind the scenes. First off, let me just read this quote that he posted on the video real quick. Okay. Yeah. So it says, large corporation. And by the way, this is on Grain. This is the website, and it says. I'm going to read it. The large corporations such as Microsoft, Amazon, and IBM are racing to collect as much data as they can from all the nodes of the food system and becoming more and more integrated and connected through corporate partnerships, mergers, and takeovers, enabling corporate capture of the food system. Once captured, this can be processed with their powerful algorithms to provide farmers with real-time data, analysis on the condition of their soils and water, the growth of their crops, the situation without pests and diseases, and the looming weather and climatic changes they may face. This may be appealing for farms that can afford technologies, but is a different story for the 500 million small farm households in the world who produce most of the world's food who cannot afford the high-priced data gathering technologies. For the corporations investing in digital agriculture, the objective is to integrate millions of farmers into a vast, centrally controlled digital network. Once integrated, they will be heavily encouraged, if not obligated. So, long story short, these big companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and IBM, which are big tech companies, are
Facebook
literally
too, right?
And Facebook too, Mark Zuckerberg, are trying to get into data for soil. So, and again, on theory, it's cool. It would help farmers who can they're electronically know the soils, the weather, more than just your, following an almanac and following year trends. They're going to have electronics to keep them up to date. The problem is this: farming is immortal, or farmers has been forever. So in a lot of these, there's some really big farms, but what they're saying is there's 500 million little farmers, little families that make money off farming. But
is that specifically in India, or is that?
I think it's all over, because that'd be a lot. 500 million is a lot of people.
There's a lot of people in India.
No, it is. Yeah,
I think it's the highest population.
I just read there's 7.8 billion people right now.
Yeah,
I remember the last thing I always remember is 6 billion. There's up to 7.8 billion.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'm gonna transition to something that's funny that actually we said that, but yeah, check how many people are in India.
Yeah.
But the report said 500 million farmers, but even that in India or across the world won't be able to afford this technology. So it would kill a lot of these little farmers, which they've been doing for history.
And I'm pretty sure India's population, like 60% of the population is into farming, or so, like a giant amount,
And Russell Brand showed on this thing, this Indian lady who was really smart. I loved her.
Yeah.
She was good. She wrote this book. That would be a book I'd be interested in. Yeah, pull her up.
Yeah.
And Russell Brand goes, so, and this is why mainstream media is just a joke at this point. He goes, so what you're saying is that Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates might be in cahoots. Kind of sound like a conspiracy theory. Yeah, clearly. It's billionaire tech people trying to make money together. Yeah, that sounds exactly right. But the mainstream media guy was trying to dismiss the Indian lady, that the 1% doesn't try to take advantage of the 99% to keep their own money. But I thought that was funny. Yeah, she wrote a good book. It said it was like the 99% versus the 1% versus the world or something.
All right, I'm Russell.
Oops,
thank you.
1 second. Talk over this while I'm pulling this up.
And I have and I want to say something too about, I have like this theory about it, of all this real quick, this whole year and this whole data thing, which I want to say to you.
Vandana Shiva.
Donna Shiva. What's the book called?
Shiva.
Can you see it?
I'm not sure. I can look it up.
So it's her name, Donna Shiva.
Vandana Shiva.
Vandana Shiva. This Indian lady. Very intellectual, very smart. Was very for the people. She wrote a book and went on one of these mainstream media sites. Mainstream media channels.
She has a bunch. Soil, not oil. Earth Democracy. There's a bunch.
Okay, so she's very pro-agriculture, back in agriculture, which is important. We shouldn't just have technology take over everything. But here's what I want to say to you, and this is one of the main things I thought was interesting. So we know this whole collecting people's data is the big thing now, right?
Right.
Through tech, Facebook, Amazon, through what you watch. So that's the big thing right now, collecting everyone's data, and then the big companies are using this data. So when you say something, the ads are popping up. We're getting to the point in the next 5 years where we'll all have our own specific ads.
We do already.
Which we already do.
Yeah.
But you remember we said that when people talked about that, 4 or 5 years ago, that was like this big, like crazy thing. Now we just kind of gloss over it like, who cares? It is what it is, which I think is funny. But now this made me think now they're looking for data of the farm. So they're trying to get data of everything. My thing is this. Tell me this. Do you think in the last year with COVID, and this is a separate question, were more people, because we're stuck inside using YouTube, Netflix, on Facebook, more putting their data out there in the last year?
Right.
I almost think, again, I didn't hear this anything. I do believe that maybe that was a part of this push too. They went this 12-month, 18-month, let's collect as much data as we can, force everyone inside to the point where, again, to the point where they're going to collect data for the farms in the meantime. I think we've already gave out all our data now. I don't know what more they could get through Facebook and Amazon, but I still try to put together what this underlying thing of this whole COVID thing was this past year. Again, it was just the flu, but it kept us inside for 12 to 18 months, and I do believe it was to collect as much data as possibly that they could.
So you think that was the main motivation? If we're going full conspiracy, because that's what we're saying right now. If like there was a bigger agenda behind COVID, it wasn't just a random outbreak, and there was something pushing it. So you're saying just to collect
as much data as they can. This would be the way. Keep everyone inside. I wonder what the percentage was. How much Netflix was up? How much YouTube was up? How much Facebook was? But we both agreed that it was definitely up. In this past
no, it was a lot.
Months,
yeah, I don't know if that would have been the main motivation.
Not the main.
I think a lot of it was political. Like, it's kind of crazy. No matter what side you're on, Trump, Republican, Democrat, it's crazy. Right when Trump gets out of office, all these people were saying, "Oh, now it's time to open up," and And like same with the relief bill, like a lot of people in office were pushing the relief bill until Trump got out of office just so it wouldn't look good on paper for Trump, Right. So I think a lot of it was politically motivated. And
right.
That's an issue when you're keeping people out of their jobs, closing down businesses for political reasons, just to push your agenda. And I think that was a large portion of
it, agree with that.
I think even if it wasn't a huge conspiracy theory and it was planned to push COVID, I think they always take advantage of whatever happens, like 9/11 taking away our rights after that happens. They always use tragedy and take advantage of it to push their agenda, So even if they didn't implement it, they will always take advantage of tragedy,
In fear is the easiest way to control the masses.
Right. Well, and fear sells,
Yeah. And again, the thing with the politics always happens though, for forever. Mm-hmm. The thing that was different this past 12 months is that they put us all inside and we couldn't move around.
Right.
But again, I think it's politics. I think it's collecting data. I think there's something with this vaccine, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I think there's something weird with the vaccine, but what do I really know?
Time will tell.
So we thought that was interesting. I also want to say something too, and this is one of my little small things. So I called Buffalo Wild Wings on Tuesday. We've been on this hot spicy kick, and first off, they took out a lot of their wing flavors. Their hottest one now is like, I don't even know. They used to have Wild and Blazing. I was gonna get the Blazing. Yeah, but they don't have it anymore. It's two other ones that are the hottest. So I was gonna get like the second hottest one. So I call, I'm like, I called Tuesday, I'm going to do the buy one, get one. And she goes, oh yeah, we aren't doing buy one, get one free because of the chicken wing shortage.
What?
The chicken wing shortage. I'm like, so can I get boneless wings, buy one, get one free? So I went and did some research. There's a chicken wing shortage. So just a couple of numbers I wrote down. Just because this was right after Super Bowl weekend, but this is some of the stats. Super Bowl weekend alone, there was 1.4 billion chicken wings distributed, or 8, whatever. 1.4 billion. Now, this is interesting. So restaurants were down 11% this year of people attending, obviously because of the pandemic. So 11% of people were less going to restaurants, but chicken wings were up 7%. So chicken wing intake was more and went up 7% when restaurants went down 11%. So there's literally a chicken wing shortage right now. You can't get you can't get chicken wings on the buy one get one free day. And actually, I think you can't get chicken wings right now in general at Buffalo Wild Wings. So
what?
I thought that was random.
Wait, you can't get wings in general?
Can't get wings in general. Yeah,
what?
Buffalo Wild Wings. I could not get my BOGO on Tuesday, and I was like, "Well, you guys."
That's crazy.
I was like, "Will you guys do the boneless wings instead?" And they wouldn't, bro. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And also, it made me think of this too. It's like if there's 7.8 billion people, I mean, at some point we have to get to this point where there can't be. How many chickens can there be? Like, how many chickens can they keep making, and pigs and cows? Like, there can only be so many.
Well, I mean, kind of to put it back to our previous point about India and controlling the food. Like, if you control the food, you control the world.
Right.
You control the people.
Right.
So that's why it's scary. And, like, we don't really know the true motivations behind these big tech companies buying up all these resources, It's kind of...
Because it gets to the point where they're going to have to genetically modify everything we eat in the next 10 to 20 years.
Well, and they can control the prices, Like, it's the... basic supply and demand principles, so
I was like, I can't get my buy one get one free chicken wings. Y'all are playing with me. But I just thought that was a good thing on that went on there with the farming, the chicken wings being out. And so yeah, video, click the like and subscribe button below and hit the little chime button.
That's perfect. That'd be funny.